The time has come, Graven. It is time for you to destroy Hugo Strange. Excellent. I will dispatch of him quickly. This blasphemer will be dealt with once and for all, and our holy scriptures will be retrieved. Indeed, go forth and carry out your task. Of course.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Hugo Strange one more time. So last year for Halloween, I reviewed a horror anthology called Trick or Treat. This year I decided to continue that thread by reviewing an oldie but a goodie, Tales from the Darkside, the movie. Now, for those of you who don't know, Tales from the Darkside was an anthology TV series that came out in 1983, created by George A. Romero. It's one of the old school classic horror anthology shows like Tales from the Crypt, The Twilight Zone, The Outer Limits, and things of that nature. Although I preferred Tales from the Crypt as opposed to Tales from the Darkside. But that's neither here nor there. Tales from the Darkside, the movie, was originally going to be Creepshow 3, the famous horror anthology films created by George A. Romero and Stephen King. But that idea was scrapped, and thus Tales from the Darkside, the movie, was born. The movie features stories written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the author of the Sherlock Holmes series, Stephen King, and Michael McDowell. The movie stars Steve Buscemi, Christian Slater, Julianne Moore, James Remar, and William Hickey. Now, I should preamble this by saying that I have seen this movie before, but it's been a while, and since I reviewed an anthology movie last year, I figured this year I might as well do the same thing. So, as always, I am going to watch it and give you my thoughts on the other side. Peace. And we're back. Just got finished watching Tales from the Darkside, the movie. And for those of you who haven't seen this movie, you should understand that this is a frame story, which means that there's one story encompassing the other stories. And I love things like that. So, going straight down the list here, starting with Lot 249, this was probably the best of the stories in this movie. Although none of these stories were exactly scary, and for what this movie is, again, Tales from the Darkside, and anyone who's watched shows like that know that they have a certain level of camp to it, where it's not really meant to scare you or be taken seriously, so you have to kind of go with that in mind, that you're not going to be genuinely scared. All of that being said, Lot 249 undeniably is the best story on here, mostly because it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it really doesn't veer into the realm of absurdity. Not to say that all of the stories on here do, except for the second one, which I will get into because that's not exactly my favorite story. Since we're on that topic, The Cat from Hell, I really liked this one from the beginning of it, with the hitman being introduced and just the way he was constantly getting screwed over. However, the ending left much to be desired with the cat crawling inside. No, that got stupid for me. But overall, the story was entertaining. Just the ending and the way it was executed was just not the best way they could have done that. So yeah, just wasn't feeling that at all towards the end. Lover's Vow, the final story before the encompassing story, is probably the best next to Lot 249. And I say that because the ending of Lover's Vow, although incredibly obvious, you do get the sense of a real loss and despair from that situation, despite the fact that you've seen it coming. Long story short, none of these stories are actually scary, but they are somewhat entertaining, and if they would have remade this movie nowadays, or at least tried to have done it better than they did before, they would have actually had something really good to work with here. But again, you have to understand that this was coming off of Creepshow 3, which anyone who's seen the Creepshow movies knows that those are more or less comedies than they are horrors. So anyway, that will do it for me. Anybody who's interested in watching Tales from the Dark Side, the movie, link is in the description box below. You can check it out. As for next year, I don't know what I'm going to be reviewing, but stay tuned when... The hell? Katira?
Hugo, my high alert sensors
Katira?
detecting a strong interdimensional between space and time. Can you hear me? You are fading. Hugo,
Oh. Oh. Oh, shit. Hey kid, I think it's about time we